Time for the second game of the day here at the final day of our first section of cross-divisional play.
A flavored sparkle juice beverage is what it said on the can.
What?
On the Mountain Dew game at Amp Fuel.
I was like,
I've never seen those like string of words together. Sorry, yeah, there is a Call of Duty game, but I'm just saying, you see something like that, you have to focus on it. Yes, it is.
You do, but this
and
is our
on a banger.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one. I have a feeling
it will be. In all honesty, it's going to end up Game 5, Round 11.
Yeah, the first one didn't. The second one has to, right?
Yes.
That way we don't cast any Game 5s in a day. That would just be absurd. Midnight, Denial. I've been very impressed by Midnight. Surprisingly so, actually. It's weird because you put this group of players together and you think, all right, well, come on, what are we going to get? What is the maximum output this team is going to produce? Then they go on and you look at the performance you get against 100 Thieves and you're like, whoa, did not see that coming.
I refuse to make any predictions about Midnight at all. Just outright, no expectations in either direction. Because like the first time they played on LAN, we actually casted. And they played against Splice back at Fort Worth. And the storyline we gave is like, we don't expect this Midnight team to be great, especially not with the roster change. They had, a week or whatever it was of prep time at the event. Yep. And then they go and take Splice to a Game 5. And keep in mind, that was Splice who still got second at that tournament. So Splice was very, very good. And we were like, oh, this Midnight team came to play. They're actually a very good team. We're surprised at how well they're doing. And then that was the only 2 maps they won at the entire tournament. And I was like, okay, what happened? I didn't even get to watch those series. So I watched them play. They start doing fantastic, and then they go away, and then they just start to lose. And now they come here in the Pro League, and they still are taking maps and series off of top-tier teams. And, it's very surprising to me. And again, I think everyone in the community was expecting them to just not win a single series, barely win any maps. And here they are, potentially going 3-1 in their week, and still already, again, having a great seed for London.
Could be a big, big surprise. That's for sure. On the flip side, though, talk a little bit about Denial, a team which, you start the league and, you're thinking, oh no, is it going to be, Epsilon version 2? Or maybe version 3, but they've shown they can beat the best, right? You see them go toe-to-toe with Splice. They go Game 5, they win that. They play Splice again at an open event, Game 5, they don't win it that time. But they've given us these moments where you want to believe in them. You want to see, closer games, but then in some series, they'll get 100-point clubbed, then they'll win a Search and Destroy 6-0, and you're left kind of confused by this French squad.
They need this win. The Denial, I think, absolutely needs the win, not just for seeding, because I think they're at 2-8 right now, not in a great spot, I think, at the bottom of the division, but for confidence, because we were saying at the start, not a good team, Epsilon version, whatever it's going to be, and then I think a lot of people were like, no, this team is pretty good, they're going to play teams close, and they did. They played a lot of teams close, got some nice wins, but then they haven't seemed to improve much since then. And I think they need this win going into the 3-week break coming up before London just to get something under their belt. Because, in all honesty, it's not a win Midnight needs. They're at grade C. They've already beaten some tough teams. Obviously, they want to get the win, but I think there's a lot more pressure on Denial right now.
Couldn't agree more. As the early gunfights here on Arsenal Hardpoint, pretty 50-50. No one getting too much control. Finally, Midnight do break through. And they look to lock in a big amount of time. And it's Saints who really you should keep your eyes on because it was his just quality performance against 100 Thieves. I mean, he made 100 Thieves at times look borderline clueless, which, believe me, they are not. And he has really been thriving throughout the week. So, for a solid start for him, only at 3-3, but it's his teammates fighting for the spawns, picking up the scrap time.
And of course, Bregi is shooting players in the back, trying to hunt a couple guys down, but they are taking a lot of time just to try to find Lacefield, which they do. Maybe a potential opening on the front side of things, but looks like for the moment, Denial has all their bases covered. Pushed up barrels, of course, one guy going on the full flank, which might get either terrible or amazing timing with Bregi, but on the front side, well, gunfights going down everywhere. Saints not slowed down too much, able to kill one in the back, and you can see exactly where Denial is spawning. Wrong side of the map, Midnight, they break on through.
Yes, they do indeed. And now this is where it could get scary here on the second hill with 30 seconds left. Midnight looking to build themselves a lead. Maybe potential to work towards some streaks. But the play develops as now go for a pretty slow break, and Lacefeet's going to make risk pay for that one. Now it's all about the rotation because if you're Denial, you have to concede that scrap time. Midnight with a pretty sizable lead now.
And that's just a really good rotation, right? Even the first guy, Lacefield, that gets caught on the flank, eventually Saints breaks on through. You give him the bad spawns. And when I say bad spawns, I mean worst possible. And
Bad.
Well, now we have Denial. Another situation where they do have a setup they want. A couple players pushed up onto the patio, but they take him down. Blast makes the move. You got a guy coming through vents. If Lacefield can find the kill, which he can't, would have been a great spot, but now you're forced into bad positions. It looks like for, well, at least the first wave of a push, Denial able to hold on.
But can they defend the second? Because here comes Midnight. Brezzy is forced over to back up into vent. Lacefield flies forward. Whalers, though, is able to trade out one before the stun connects clean in the face. Blast will shut down not one but two Denial players, and Midnight retake control. And obviously, we talked a little bit about Genji earlier on in the way that they were playing Hardpoint against E6, and the word kind of bullying comes to mind. It's almost similar here with Midnight.
For the time being, yes. I mean, again, even that retake right there, it does take him an extra push, but just kind of run him over just a little bit. But for the moment on the rotation, you had 3 players for Midnight kind of stacked up in mid. They're expecting Denial to be a little bit pushed up past where they actually are, because it's 3 bodies now make it 4 just coming in the right side. But now it's just straight gunfight on gunfight. You don't have to worry about the flank. You just have to make sure you get the kills. And Saints, well, leading the charge, able to find one. Does he get the second? Of course he does. He's been a man on a mission. And now sieging forward, his teammates are doing as much damage as the enemies, but still alive, still inside the hill, and trying to increase the lead as much as possible.
561. Hill contested as the trades come through here on gun with 30 seconds left. Finally, Denial getting their foot in the door of this hill. But you've got to lock it down as actually wants to try and rotate out. He's got terrible timing on a player to his left who does shut him down. That was Lacefield. The following kills all good for Denial. So a nice sequence of events. They hold, they pick up the time, and now it's all about the rotation. It's Brezzy and Zeke first to the party. Well, Zeke goes down, so it's all down to Brezzy momentarily. He's going to have a fight with Parasite at the back of the map, and Parasite's distracted. In fact, Risk takes care of it. So Brezzy locks in the spawns without really even needing to shoot his gun.
I was about to say, doesn't even need to do much himself. Of course, he was blocking the spawns effectively, but Risk picking up a couple nice kills to make it happen. Finally, Brezzy has a gunfight, comes out on top, and an important one at that. Of course, you got cluster nades inside the hill coming from the side of Midnight, potentially slowing some players down, but stun slow players down as well. Natshe, though, not able to find the second, but while he's not getting the second kill, he does get the first, and his teammates hanging out inside the hill. Saints, of course, now just trying to wait for his teammates because Blast is going on the flank. Able to find the first, use the TAC 5. Midnight makes the move. They're inside the hill. They get the clean 5-man wipe. And you talk about the teamwork. You got players waiting for the flanks to come in, waiting for their teammates to come off spawn, and they make their move and execute well, albeit, though, not a huge lead for Midnight after the first set of rotations, but nice gameplay nonetheless.
Yeah, first one, 119, 111. It's shots firing back and forth through the vent. No kills just yet. Saints with a double. Finally, Llama drops down. He finds one. It's an instant trade from Denial. It's Risk inside the hill as he looks to string together a couple. He's not able to do so. And Midnight breakthrough once again in terms of specialists available. Llama, of course, does have his Tempest. Saints getting close towards the War Machine. Lacefield close towards the Grav, but in fact, Saints using the War Machine here, actually, so we'll see if he's able to put together a couple of kills. Well, there's one, and that's for streaks.
Yeah, and he's already picked up 2 kills, by the way, so the fact that that guy still did not put on Flak Jacket, a little bit surprising. You can see the next guy doesn't have it either. Does get away with his life, but you don't have Flak. You have to deal with a War Machine. You're never getting towards this hill. You're going to have to let for it run out, and then you got to deal with guns as well, and a couple kills going the way. They do move inside the hill as Midnight, well, they just kind of halfway leave it, focused on the rotation for next, but now it's Lacefield with an important gunfight. He's able to win his second, has to win the third, does so. But the back spawn's still there for Denial, but of course sending players on the flank once again, but of course flanks on flanks. Brezzy is behind enemy lines.
Yeah, it's a flank of the flank. And for Brezzy, he's going to be sniffed out Lacefield. Oh, sorry, I believe that was Llama, actually, who was able to shut him down as the streak comes through, and, well, that is not how to use a lightning.
Well, I mean, getting double kills is exactly what you want. Generally, just on the enemy team would be nice, but now you have a bunch of specialists coming out. The Tempest and the War Machine invested just for this rotation, but honestly, I think even more impactful than the specialist was literally just the team kills coming in. So Denial maybe need to say thank you to the opposition or whatever it is in French. The Tempest, by the way, able to connect with a couple kills. I think that's the second he's found with it. Of course, 265 off of streaks as well. Creeping up on it, but not quite there.
Off the play. Jumps outside the map. Tempest is out, though, so we have to find the remaining 225 points after destroying the trophy the old-fashioned way. And teammate there to bait. There should be some decent bait. Saints is one shot, but you got to clean up the kill. Actually does just player event. That would have been it. Doesn't connect. 163, 161. Midnight controlling Jet. He's trying to build themselves a lead, but Brezzy setting up the grav play. Or does he even need to? Doesn't. Slides into vent. Not able to find the pick, though. And speaking of grav plays, Lacefield, of course, with his.
And I just got a bunch of people trapped up in vent. Blasto finally able to creep on out, so they do find themselves set free. Of course, last time around, it was Denial that had this hill early. They were able to do a fairly decent job of holding on, but now they have to force the attack. And you got players just over towards Gun. Like you, okay, so Natshe has chalked it up. He's rotating towards New, excuse me. A couple players trying to force it through the front. Things are not going well. That is a Denial that is not very happy about the situation they've been dealt. They chalk it up with 25, 30 seconds left to go. So Midnight take a nice lead.
Shout out to Paradox. He saw what we thought was coming. The triple grav slam from Brezzy. Well, it didn't go very well. That's for sure. Luckily, he didn't actually have time to use his grav slam, but Tempest is out for Midnight. Llama goes down, trades back and forth, and this now is just going to come down to who's going to effectively trade out their specialists in terms of the grav slams. There's still a little more, and while speaking of grav slam, Brezzy, take two. Well, there's two to the grave for you as well. Can he find the third? Zeke shuts him down, and Denial with control, but the spawns, for now at least, not in their favor. Sneaky little flank from Llama. Has the support of a teammate, Parasite. And this is the problem. If the Denial aren't careful, that rotation is going to be made that much harder, and it's such a close game chance you cannot afford to make any mistakes. And bear in mind, Lace still with his grav slam.
Denial took a ton of, or Midnight, excuse me, took a ton of time to make that break happen, but they're successful with it. Now they got 4 players stacked up towards next, and obviously Llama God can effectively just come out and flank whenever he wants, because a couple players for Denial are trying to creep towards the hill. They are inside. Llama God moving on the flank, is able to find one, but his teammates were falling for the moment. Parasite, though, is going to be holding the back spawns for the team. And, well, Denial, everyone gets wiped. You got to flood through the front, and there is a Vision Pulse on board from Zeke coming in, which means it better be Denial getting these kills, and they're able to find 2. The Grav Slam not used just yet. But of course, you get 1 break from Midnight, and the game will be theirs. And
this is the scary part here, right? Because if you don't know, yes, you can lock this down, hold for full time, but you can't win it here. You still have to think about that rotation for the first hill. And for Midnight, well, they can win it here if they want to try and push straight through, and that's going to be the game plan. They already break. 20 seconds left. Lacefield with that kill onto Whalers is going to secure at least another 5-6 seconds. Time's ticking. Grav Slam used. Only finds 1. Contest comes through. Is it going to be enough? Lacefield looking to just find 1 more pick. 249. Finally, Denial break. It's 4 dead, but you've got to rotate. But the problem is, Midnight still spawning at the back, so there could be 1 final challenge for the last bit of seconds. There it is from Parasite. Teammate in the hill, but it doesn't tick. It doesn't tick. And Denial a renew.
Could have sworn he would have had the time. Don't know how they didn't, but either way, you got a rotation. You just need 1 break just for a moment. Denial have to pour all the pressure inside the hill. Someone has to be inside, but 2 of their players fall. Parasite's calling in the Vision Pulse, and there it is. If you don't get it on old, you'll get it on new. And Midnight, surprising. Well, not at this point. Not surprising anymore, but they get that first map win.
A little scary way to end that out, but when you do have the Vision Pulse, of course it makes life a little bit easier when you're breaking in towards that first hill, and Midnight close it out as comfortably as they would have liked chance, but either way, they close out game 1, now the advantage in the series.
I mean, I'll be honest, for whatever reason, there wasn't a moment in that game where I thought Midnight was going to lose it. Like, essentially after this second hill, like even when it was like a 10-point game after like 4th, I was like, nah, Midnight, like they're kind of bullying him out, having really good rotations, good setups, nice flank, locking down spawns, did a lot of things right, and as close as it was, it just seemed to go Midnight's way. And of course, we'll get another look at how the hell Midnight just didn't win it on this hill. But either way, they didn't.
I'm surprised. I'm actually excited to kind of watch this back, because before that moment, of course, they have Lacefield in the hill doing a great job. Uses the grav, only finds 1, and then last-ditch effort from Denial comes through, and they are able to finally get a wave of kills. But never mind, even while that was being contested, Midnight go to 249. So almost a saving grace there for Denial. 3 seconds. Player in the hill exactly at the 1. It ticks, doesn't give it to him for what feels like an eternity. And then Denial go on to almost make the comeback.
Yeah, I can't remember where the tick actually comes in, if it's at like the top half of the second or the bottom half, wherever it is, but I know that full 60 is never technically correct. It's like 59 seconds is the maximum you can get. So apparently it's that final second where that tick doesn't come through. But either way, if you don't get the tick on the old hill, you get the 5-man wipe with the Vision Pulse, so no big deal.
Midnight up 1-0. Jess caught up with Parasite. What do the Midnight guys have to say?
Thanks, Ben. Well, Parasite had to say that he feels they've had a very strong performance, which of course they have, and he feels that they have proved a lot of people wrong. Something that various members of Midnight have spoken to me about before is having trouble finding scrims because they feel as though other teams aren't really taking them seriously. Parasite says, well, I think that's going to change now, or I hope it is at least, and he is coming out definitely expecting to win here versus Denial. He said, with the way we've been playing lately, it just wouldn't make sense if we lost to Denial. Now, on the side of Denial, I caught up with Whalers, and they're just in such a tough position, coming out with 0 wins for the week. You can tell it's really affecting them, and Whalers even said, I don't really know what to expect or what to say. He said that they are going to be boot camping before London, and, you know, for this match, they're giving it everything they got and just hoping for a win. So we'll see where the rest of the series goes, though. Ben Chance, back over to you.
Thank you very much, Jess. 1-0 Midnight. Denial have to fight back in their search and destroy. And I guess, in your opinion, from what we've seen so far for Denial, what would you think is their best way of coming back into this? You look at maybe the control. Is it the search and destroy?
That's well, search and destroy I think is going to be the key thing, but that's a tough thing about these guys is in every single game mode, like they show signs where they look good, but then never good enough to get that win. Like they have what, like a 3-11 record in control, I think, in the Pro League, but when you watch them play control, it's like they do a lot of things right, except for getting the kills. Like I don't know if it's a talent issue, that might honestly part of it, where they are just a very small step behind the top competition, but still a small step is a small step.
I mean, you think about, was it the Game 5 round 11 against Optic Gaming, if I'm not mistaken? Was it Denial Optic earlier on in the week where they were 5-1 down?
That was one of those series where it's like none of the maps were like super close until that one. And it's like, oh god.
It didn't really make any sense. It was blow up, blow up, blow up, blow up.
Well, and so they've played Splice to 2 Game 5s as well.
Yeah.
And they keep winning like one of the 2 search and destroys. I think one time they got the Game 5, the other time not. But again, you take it to the highest of level of competition, they can force close games. That's what I'm saying. They do a lot of things where they look good as a team. They even have a lot of talent on their team. Like Risk has been a monster. Like it seems like they have all the makings to be a really solid team, and then they just can't find wins. Again, it's just that small step, Ben.
Yeah, no, it is a small step, but it can give you a giant boost in terms of your results and in terms of your placements at open events. Of course, again, London just 3 weeks away. We'll have a period of maybe some roster changes. I doubt we see anything really from Denial. They've stuck with it, and they have shown big signs of improvement. So here's a look at our series so far, 250-235. We go to that payload search and destroy, which was the Game 5 against Optic Gaming earlier in the week, where they found themselves 5-1 down, put it all the way back to round 11. And then the following sequences after that were just absolute chaos, a team kill, all sorts of mistakes come through. And they need to be almost perfect here. Got to tie up this series. Do not want to allow Midnight in current form to go 2-0 up.
I'd forgotten about that round. I wiped it from my memory.
Yeah.
Like when they get Vision Pulse and they're like, we'll take the gunfight.
I have nightmares about it.
We'll use the War Machine late. Oh, and kill our teammate too. It's brutal to watch, but obviously, talk about fixing mistakes. Now they know how to play against a Vision Pulse. I'm sure they've talked it over. And
yeah, don't just run straight at them and try and take fights. Yeah, sometimes it's okay to let the clock bleed down just a little bit, but first round advantage to now. 2 kills in their favor as Parasite looks to even it up. Forced to back away. 2 players ran straight at him, and he's bought Blast a little bit of time to push, but now Blast is going to be 1v2'd. Doesn't even need it. Whalers there, takes the fight. Lacefield, your turn, 1v2. And, well, the exact same result. Unsuccessful. A perfect round from Denial.
And I'll tell you, those guys from Midnight played that situation, those gunfights, as well as you possibly could, and it simply just does not matter towards the end. So you get the first blood, you're in a great spot, and I think the teamwork of the multiple 2v1 challenges paid dividends for Denial, and the best way to not lose a round when you get Vision Pulsed, don't let the other team get Vision Pulsed.
Just don't let them get any kills at all. Just keep wiping them out, Great round from Whalers there. He finds the 2 over on the outskirts. Support of a teammate definitely helped. But for Midnight, now they go over towards the attacking side. Glance at our map, and you can see the intent. Definitely going to be A, but they're going to be met by at least 3 Denial players. One with that 2, as he tries to back away. Now all of a sudden, If you deny, you've lost a lot of control over the site. Nade comes out. It's going to be a collapse through, maybe a flank as well from Zeke. B's wide open. Lacefield flanking himself. Maybe Midnight, you got to be quick here. You could be in some trouble.
Of course, Lacefield definitely has the information on one. And the ICR is the gun for the job. First blood coming in from Midnight. Well, now you actually have the flank on flank, and Zeke able to pick up two, so the first blood doesn't even matter because, well, Risk was able to pick up some kills as well. Lacefield has the bomb, but that's the only good news. The bad news is your players are already flanking again. This is a very quick pace coming out from Denial. The Wolf Pack just trying to hunt him down.
No dead silence either. So he's going to be very loud and sniffed out. Finds the first, can't find the second.
Yeah, that's the dead silence coming into effect. He's behind me. Snap on him real quick, but that's the best part about running together.
Yeah.
You at least have someone there for the trades. But again, despite that first blood, it was the speed of Denial coming in full effect. And it was Breji that got spotted, but there was a bunch of people else, or a bunch more people on the flank as well.
Definitely was. So 2 good rounds of search out of 2 for Denial. No mistakes. They find themselves 2-0 up. But still, a lot more to go here, Chance.
Of course, last time on offense, it was a slow pace off the rip, but then eventually just surged on through A and put Midnight to bed. This time, though, leaning over towards the B site. They're going for a little bit of the mid-tunnel connector control. 2 players inside. And Midnight, honestly, not worried about the pressure in tunnels. They're happy to give it up. They just want to stay up top. But Parasite, very, very weak. Has to back up. Has the nade as well. He's making the read. Might honestly play this perfectly. Hits the bounce, but it doesn't connect. Whalers, of course, finds a kill in the downtime. And, well, you got players falling and trading all over the map. Parasite eventually falls. Saints trying to stay alive. And he gets a kill, so it's literally trades back and forth. You got a 2v2.
Brezzy went for the shot punch. Natche says, no, take a look. That's how you shot punch. Blast now 1v2. Spots both players. This is the absolute best case scenario for him. It just comes down to, is Whaler's going to turn? Is he going to watch his 6 and, well, hold on a minute. I don't know, even going to stay at A. No, they're not. Now Blast has a little bit of space between him and the Denial boys. But he is still in hot pursuit. Again, gets a little bit of blessed timing. As he spots a slither from Blast. All he has to do is kill the bomb, and honestly, if he just waits, well, takes a shot and just runs away. Time on the side. Now he has to try and hunt down Natche. He hunted him, but he couldn't put him down. Denial, 3-0 up.
I don't know. It would be weird to criticize Blastful and Search and Destroy because the man is a Search and Destroy god, but at the same time, with that little time on the clock, you have to imagine that player is going to be on top. Like, you saw them running together. You had information on both. That's the only expectation. I guess he makes the read on the direction he's coming from, but I don't know. I feel like you had more options to play a little bit slower, watch the crossover towards bomb, but either way, it was an attempted clutch, but no success in Denial again. 3-0 up, feeling comfortable on both offense and defense.
Yeah, looking very, very good here in game 2. It's Parasite at 0-3, which is struggling a little bit. Of course, we've already had one relatively poor game of search. Let's try not to have another one today. Up top is Natche. Has Brezzy down low over towards the B site. It's center corner. Blast will make him pay. Advantage Midnight. But of course, they need to still try and get that bomb down. And it's Natche just being a giant nuisance on the map at 5-1. And doing a good job of just holding his own, holding his ground, and not being bullied out by Midnight. But 3v3, 45 seconds on the clock. Midnight rotate.
And Denial is rotating right there with him. Zeke already on the cross. I think Parasite, if not him, someone else saw it. 2 players definitely have the information. Whalers, though, with the first gunfight. Lamagod going for the challenge, and Whalers is just going to catch him and had some team support as well. Parasite plants the bomb, tries to heal, but I'll tell you, trying to hit fire and slide with the ICR is never going to go your way, but Whalers coming up very clutch for the team. And, well, despite that, he's already got the TAC 5. They want to get Zeke a little bit closer to the Vision Pulse, and makes sense as well, because honestly, Vision Ball is better than score streaks on this map.
Sure is. And Denial so far, 4 rounds out of 4. They called it perfectly. They can do it both on the attack and the defense. At Midnight, they're going to have to try and do something a little bit different here. Game 1, close hardpoint. Almost had the makings of a crazy comeback, but game 2, extremely one-sided chance.
Not over yet, though. I mean, we've seen a little bit of life. Blast has been making some very nice reads. Just needs a little bit of help. I think, you know, you got Parasite, Llama God, both 1 and 4. No one really, except for Blast doing too well. So
and he's even. It's not as if, you know, he's like positive in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah,
just 4 and 4.
Someone needs to get some kills. And Saints, well, not going to be that guy. Not this round, at least.
You want kills? Natche has kills. He has 6 of them. Wayless has 7. Brezzy at 1 and 3. He's just kind of chilling. Just like, thanks, guys. Appreciate the hard carry today. On lead 4-0 with first blood here. Potential Tempest as well for Natche. He wants to invest it just to really try and close out this round. Brezzy commits. And, well, if that doesn't sum up this game, quite frankly, I don't know what does. The panic nade shuts down not only Lacefield, but takes down Parasite to the grave with him. And instantly, a 4v2 for Denial.
This is one of the moments where I'm incredibly disappointed. We don't have, like, a switch with us on, like, the caster desk, if you want to call it, Cove, whatever it is, where we can just switch to player comms, like, instantly.
Yep.
Because, like, we don't have to listen to comms constantly, but as soon as that double kill comes in, I want nothing more than to listen to the conversation right now.
I think all you hear is...
No, not with this team.
No.
You're going to hear a lot more aggressive stuff than a big side, but the big side might be included. And, of course, most things include a Denial winning another round up 5-0.
They've been clinical.
I mean, they had a lot of help that round as well. Best player there for Denial, Lacefield, picking up 2.
Away, taking their opportunities and running with it. 5-0.
So he has more team kills now than enemy kills. Yeah, I think so. I think Lacefield was one of the guys at 1 and 4, wasn't he? Him and Parasite. I just like stats.
Well, it's not a very good stat.
Oh, it's Llama God. Okay, so Lacefield's still outperforming. Okay, never mind.
By 1.
Oh, it's not great. Yeah. They're down 5-0. It's definitely not great.
It's very, very bad. That's for sure. It's great if you're French and you're a Denial fan. Let me tell you, they are just cruising through this game too. They're playing fantastic. As well as tries to snap on forward to concede positioning of Outer. Bomb goes down and Tempest is out. Brezzy stunned though, so can't actually try and push to clean up the kill. Well, you'll hit him eventually, right? There it is. Parasite goes down, Saints goes down. It's a 5v3. Nice Tempest shot. Gets the knock. 5v2, 5v1. Basically everyone from Midnight just falling like dominoes. You got to check the bottom of your Lacefield. Doesn't matter. 6-0 from Denial against Midnight in the Game 2 Search Destroy to tie up the series. That was a blowout.
I mean, this is... You could talk endlessly about those 6 rounds, analytically, break them down, talk about whatever you want. I think the ultimate thing, the ultimate takeaway is that was a map. That was definitely a map.
It was a map.
That's the only important thing to say about that entire thing.
It was a map which was over almost as quickly as it begun because Denial came to play in that Game 2. This is kind of what we were talking about. When you watch Denial, they'll have games where it's unbelievably close. They'll have games where it's just not close whatsoever. You just never know what you're going to get out of this French squad. But what we do have is at least a Game 4 in this series. It's tied up 1-1. Plenty of action still to come. We'll be back after this short break with Game 3 Control.
The Call of Duty World League is brought to you by Mountain Dew Amp Game Fuel, the official beverage of the CWL. Scuff Gaming, the official controller of the CWL. And TCL, America's fastest growing TV brand.
Game Fuel. Level up the game.
Series tied, 1-1, Denial, Midnight, second game of the day. We're going to game 3. It's going to be some control on Seaside. It's funny because at the start of the week we said, well, we've barely cast it. This week I feel like we've cast it multiple times. It's, I think, the 3rd time on the week. But a lot more control Seaside in this week's worth of cross-divisional play, that's for sure. But thoughts? A bit, do you even know where we're going in this one?
I will continue to not predict a single thing. Like Payload S&D, I would have said it's a good map for Denial. I don't know if it's their best necessarily because obviously teams still play it. They get beat every now and again, but still a good map for them. Wouldn't have thought it was going to be a 6-0.
No.
Like, I don't, like, even if Midnight is new, like, roster, maybe haven't played Payload too often, not nearly as much as Denial have, of course.
Round.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Not a 6-0, double team kills, which is unfortunate, but it happens, I guess. But I won't predict anything. Midnight looked pretty good, if not great, on map number 1. That could happen on map number 3, or Denial could beat him 3-0. These have to be the 2 most difficult teams to predict. Certainly in this, like, cross division, I think maybe overall as well.
Yeah, it's definitely tough. That's for sure, but game 1, a close one almost, and now making the Fairy Tale comeback. Could be 2-0 up if they were able to do so, but Midnight shut it down. Didn't allow any of that nonsense. The final score, I believe, was 250 to 235. The game 2, I mean, you go from a close game to, well, that. Denial all over Midnight. There was never really a moment when you thought Midnight was even going to win the round. Outside of maybe 1v2. And that was really the only chance they had. It was turned into a 1v1 with 5 seconds left on the clock. Kill comes through, doesn't matter. Now game 3, control Seaside. I'm excited because, again, I don't know what to expect for this one.
And I, at the same time, still think it's a must-win map for Denial. I think the series is incredibly important for them because they need to find some sort of footing. And, of course, Midnight, they have some big wins under their belt already. So whatever confidence they lack, they have to have at least a little bit more. And they're going straight for A off the rip. All 5 guys there. No one's wasting any time. Blastful up top. Saints in the hill. Able to find 2. And this is just every single kill going their way. Clean 5 down off the rip. You got to tick on A, and honestly, you might be good for 2, if not more.
I was going to say everything went their way there. You get all the kills, and, well, there's still more. Normally, if you push A, you expect to put some pressure on, you know, force players to wrap back. You're going to get 1 tick. Well, Midnight successfully get 2. Finally, Denial clean them out, but the pressure's already over towards B. That's worth 1 tick. Now can you get the kills on the outside? It's just a 3-life advantage. Denial are fighting back into it, but again, the trades back and forth, all favoring Midnight. There's the 2nd tick. If you're Denial, you've got to go relatively quickly. Yes, you want to wait on the gunfight wins, but when you're not winning them either, it's very, very tough. Finally, the push comes through, and Denial hold on, but Blast is already through over towards A.
And honestly, this is tough because now you got the player mid who has to come back because they don't know how many players are here. Eventually, they find them. But while you're at back to A, I was going to say that opens up pressure over towards B, but it's actually just Lacefield by himself who, granted, gets 1, but he's just going to fall. Midnight, it looks like they're trying to cap A, and I think they're trying to sneak it. I think they'll show the pressure over towards B to get players there, but now actually they're showing themselves over at A. But you got 2 players inside, a guy spawning in front of you, players coming from mid who you don't know is here. Saints makes 3, though, finds the kill, players in the back. You're going for both at the same time, and they're about to get both at the same time.
It's that way. A is gone, and B,
they got it.
Is gone.
What is this?
That's just what happens when you put pressure on both sides. With the start as well as they had. Like, you think about it, 2 ticks into A straight off the rip. Then you do the traditional, all right, let's just rotate over towards B. They get a tick into that, more pressure comes through, 2nd tick comes through. And then at that point, if you put, you know, consistent split push pressure and you win your fights, there's nothing you can do defensively. Nothing. You have to dedicate yourself to one side in those situations.
I mean, yeah, so the situation that Midnight gave themselves, I 100% thought they were going to win the round just because you get 6 off the rip. That's great. But the way it happened, like, as soon as you see players on the flank, like, I was expecting everyone on B to just instantly sprint, fly, teleport back to the A site, but a couple gunfights they just lose, they get wiped out, and, man, I'll say that is about as good as you could possibly get in a round of control for Midnight.
The thing that would be better is maybe some streaks. And Parasite, well, he's working his hardest towards him. 275 away. And the old bait coming through. A reciprocity strat we've seen. Is Midnight going to bite? Well, that chase over towards A by himself. Midnight still not committing. Why? Parasite's actually spotted and called it out. 3 go down, though. 4 go down. And that is also Parasite off his streak. And that in mind. And it's Saints off his. So a good start from Denial. They were slow, patient, methodical. And they will get at least 2 ticks for their effort.
Yeah, I mean, that is, it was a good read by Midnight of not taking the bait, but at the same time, you got to win the gunfights inside A. At least not get double killed, because that just makes it so much easier. And I think this point might get capped before they even get inside to contest. And yep, zone is gone. The deaths are there for Midnight, now down by 4. And what seemingly today and yesterday will just be the most offensive-sided C-side control we've had. Parasite by himself is just going to get killed by 2. Lamagod a little bit late there for the trade. He gets found as well. Nat Shea gets caught going in the back, but he's alive for the moment. But of course, it's Saints 11-4. You know he's going to get the kill, and he does.
I wasn't sure if I knew he was going to get after the first couple of shots, that's for sure, but did lock it in. That's all that matters. Now, Denial springing to life over towards the hill. Whaler's a little confident there with the ICR. Or fall. Trades not going particularly one-sided way. Just waiting for the players from Midnight off spawn. Not going to get them. Game slows down just a tad. The life advantage, 19-17. So it's at 2 in favor of Denial, who again, 0 ticks, 0 progression into the A zone. Ready and waiting for the first push, and it's a good defensive hold. 3 players go down, only the cost of 2 Midnight players. And if you're Denial, you got to go back to the drawing board here.
Well, you got a minute left, but the problem is, even with that slight life advantage, a minute isn't enough time for multiple pushes on C-side. You get 2, maybe a third one if it gets chaotic towards the end, but you really don't have all the time in the world to work with. But you got players coming from every angle. The problem is, you're also dying when you're starting to try to push. You got Midnight that's covered all their bases. Saints, though, is going to fall, doesn't make the correct read. A little bit unfortunate timing as well, so Barrels is open, but only 2 players from Denial are going through there. Lamagod, I was going to say, lets a player pass, but he knows that he's there. Now he can come help out mid, and, well, he gets taken down. 2 kills for Denial. This is where you got to go. They only got 25 seconds left on the game clock. Well, they're at least able to pause it as they make their move inside the hill.
Now the push. Saints has to go big here. Does he want to invest the War Machine? Does he need to invest the War Machine? That's the question. No, he doesn't, because Parasite gets a double. Lacefield gets 1. It's 9 lives to Midnight, 8 to Denial. 16 seconds on the clock. This is what you were talking about, Chance. You don't have time. Now you have to just fly straight in, and you're at the risk of maybe feeding Lacefield over towards some streaks, because he just needs 300 points. As in flies Denial. It's contested, but the kill's all in favor of Midnight, and that will seal the deal for this round. A good defensive hold.
Yeah, I mean, if the push doesn't work when you have 30, 45 seconds to try and set it up,
definitely
not going to work when you have 0 time to go and flood in. And obviously, we'll get to see why in the play of the game. We're talking about Saints has to go off, and then Parasite says, no, thank you, I got this one. Finds the second kill. Honestly, a nice gunfight went on Zeke, and then for Risk, we'll be able to tell you what it's like in the Shadow Realm.
Oh, that little smile from Parasite as he watched that little clip back. He's like,
hey guys, you see what I did?
He's like, yeah, he's like, that was me. You know, I 3-pieced him. I did that. There's now Midnight underway from what was a dominating first round in attack. Now could be in some trouble here. Parasite already close towards that vision. Llama, of course, has his temper, so War Machine rattles out in the distance. That's going to be Saints. Hasn't found anything just yet, and Denial have found the initial kills. Flak is out, and Flak will keep Whalers alive, but Saints still finds the kill anyway. With Maddox, it's a 1v2, 1v3 in fact, and Saints has done very well just to escape with his life there. That's wonderfully played.
I mean, he's getting shot from everybody. Nobody can kill him, and finally, when he finally does die, well, the trade is there from Lacefield, but Saints really has been playing spectacularly so far this week, and we'll see how far he can continue that as Lacefield, well, might just be setting up the grab slam. He's going to go for it. Nat Shea, though, hits him with the quick Tempest. I don't know if he hit him or got the chain, but the chain comes in on everybody else. Denial needs a round win, and it's not a bad way to potentially start it.
Here's the problem. You do all that, you make the flashy plays. Look at the life count, 20-20. And even after that, Midnight now still putting pressure on the matches.
Well, in fairness, the life count is nice to have when there's not already 2 ticks gone through on A, like the previous round, but obviously the kills ever important. Blastful, though, he should get found. Nat Shea, though, I think he just ran out of ammo. And Risk is eventually there for the trade, but all the pressure and more from Midnight over towards B. They got 3 bodies around the hill, not all inside, and Well, you have an idea of why, because Breggy, if he gets in there and connects, you don't want it to be all three that drop.
Don't blind. Oh, he does it anyway. That's a waste. Big waste, and that's really well played from Midnight. To your point, you mentioned it in the Hardpoint earlier on, the way teams react and set up on certain areas, Hardpoints, when they know there's a grab slam. I mean, you saw it perfectly there from Midnight. They recognize Ruin is here. Back away. They bait it out perfectly. And because of that, minute 24 to try and get some ticks into A. They have a 1 life advantage, basically nothing. But you still have Llama with the Tempest, and this is going to be the play.
Trying to connect with Zeke, not able to find him just yet. I will say Lamagod has been one of the better Tempests that we've had. Still looking for more stuff. Risk, by the way, taking care of the business on one side of the map, and now all the pressure in the world from Midnight coming in the bottom. Lamagod not able to connect there, so the Tempest gets absolutely nothing. Pressure in the back, though. Breggy's looking for at least 1 kill, finds Parasite. And it looks like Midnight, they are just going to flood through barrels till the end of the days. And while they have a 3 life advantage, so they just need the kills. And Risk obviously has to go for it. War Machine trying to hold on, but you got the War Machine while you're also Vision Pulsed.
It's going to make life a little problematic, especially when Midnight just slides straight through. It's an 8v1. It is over from a 6-0 search, a 3-0 control. This time to Midnight, and you're right not to really call it, Chance.
Now it's going to be a 100-point club for some team. Who knows which one it's going to be, because, again, impossible to predict in either direction. But Midnight, I'll tell you, when they look good, they look great.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, that last round, it's nice you need the Vision Pulse to run that team over, but that first round was you get 2 ticks right off the rip on A. You make a really nice strat call after that, and even the split pushes towards the end. You coordinate well to double tap 2 guys on A, you get 3 guys on B. The coordination was perfect. You're making reads to not get grab slammed.
Helps.
They're doing a lot of little things right.
All the little things. It's just a shame they didn't do those little things in the search and destroy. Instead, all those little things you talked about went
We'll ignore that.
drastically wrong. I mean, a pretty bad beating, if I'm honest. The Hardpoint, of course, though, was very close. Now we go over to a Hardpoint C side, where if there wasn't enough kind of chaos in the series as a whole, you throw a C-side Hardpoint in the mix, and, well, who knows what's coming.
I certainly don't. I don't think anyone does. I mean, I think in a big picture, Midnight has definitely looked like the better Hardpoint team this week, but Denial has been, I don't know, maybe struggling the most in this game mode recently. Because, again, they have a ton of losses that are within that 20, 30-point range, but they also have quite a few that they are getting 100-point clubbed, only scoring 85 points in a Hardpoint, let's say. So it's been a little bit hit or miss for the French squad, but we still don't know exactly what Midnight will bring to the table. But if we had any indication in map 1, we know it's going to be a tough map for Denial to try to win.
Yeah, definitely not going to be easy. I mean, you see Saints again come out today, gets himself some streaks earlier on in the Hardpoint. He's played very well in respawns throughout this entire week. Really a rock for this Midnight squad. And they're going to need him to play very well here to close it out. Another potential 3-1 on the cards. If Midnight do. Of course, seaside the map, you can see the players getting ready, loading on in. Could be chaotic, could be a blowout. No idea. It's just too hard to call.
Not a clue. Well, no, not a clue. Not even going to try to piece together a little bit of analysis. I will say, just to continue on the Saints hype train, I don't think he's had like a single bad respawn map at the very least. I know he's posting one of the top KDs and AKDs as of recent. I don't know exactly where he stacks up at the moment, because obviously they have already played a couple maps and things change, but been a man on a mission, and you can see why, because he's had a ton of roster changes. Plays top 8 at the very first event, then gets dropped from a team, and then finds his way back in the Pro League, eventually maybe looking for revenge on his old team.
Yeah, eventually. Long way to go, though. Long way indeed. As game number 4 underway. Midnight lead the series 2-1. Now, it's a good start, though. Whalers with the double kill. However, that's not come well. Midnight instantly respond back. As Whalers still alive, though. Llama trying to hunt him down and finally is successful. The problem is Whalers bought enough time for Denial off spawn to go flying on in. But the first hill, as expected, Chance, very contest heavy.
Yeah, just a triple hit around the outside. So anyone who was watching the front door, well, nobody's home. But then the instant retake of the retake coming in from Midnight. A nice 4 now, make it 5, and all the wipes for them, of course. Looks like Denial's already waiting for the pressure to come in barrels, but based off the spawns, they should know that it's going to be coming in from the old hill. And they have started to rotate back in that direction. But Midnight obviously pouring the pressure in, trying to get these back spawns, and Natshay not in a great spot. He is going to fall. Back spawns, well, As long as they kill this player, should be going the way of Midnight. Already had the lead, doing pretty good on the rotation.
Blast has the team kill there. He's going to get the EKIA, so he's 325 away. But you Parasite, you're just going to have to accept that L for the greater good. Potentially a bigger W here. As the rotation towards P2, Midnight control for now. Risk and the rest of the Denial boys trying to flood through barrels. Now the backspawn actually go in their favor. And Llama God has a big task at the back of the map. That's a 1v3 he has to try and fight. He was able to take one down with him. Just chaos in terms of spawn manipulation. And Denial, or sorry, Midnight will find the final couple of scrap seconds there. It's very, very back and forth. And still you can see Denial spawning out, but deciding to completely ignore the hill as they should. Yeah,
I mean, it's definitely a mistake for Midnight not to block the back, because, I mean, you want to give up the back spawns, but very late on the hill, certainly not where they did. But obviously, you're fighting for new, and if you can get the rotation over towards 30, you're in a good spot. But Breji obviously doesn't want that to happen. He's able to pick up a couple kills. Natche just goes for it. Well, he's got the teammate to back him up, but again, Parasite is causing problems for the moment, but Parasite has to wait for his teammates for some help.
Yep, has to. Doesn't want to take this fight by himself, but he's been spotted, and now is he going to be hunted down? Stuck between a rock and a hard place. Two players peeking. Well, does the best for the first, almost finds the second. Llama God, though, looking to keep that pressure up, and well, I'm not sure how he's lost that fight, but Risk wins it. And now picking up some time.
And again, this all kind of spirals back into that second hill, where Midnight just give up the back spawn for a moment. That makes it chaotic over at the second hill. It makes the rotation tougher for the third, where Denial was able to get the early setup. And there's a clean 4 down to lock in those final 15 seconds. Denial going to be able to push up this lead just a little bit. Zeke winning surprisingly difficult gunfights, and that's a nice way to start over towards barrels, because Risk has gone on the full flank, has a bunch of players surrounding him, wins another tough gunfight. I hope he had help, but I don't even think he did. But
I don't think he did.
Now win the rotation.
I don't think he did. And he set that flank up for quite some time. He went all the way through P1, all the way back church, wrapped all the way around just to put that pressure on. And now as a result of that, Blast has found a triple kill of his own, one of which was his teammate. Natche still there, though, trying to be a pain. Won't be able to be successful. The lead, 84 to 62. 30 seconds left on the hill. Midnight still trying to control it, but Denial not giving up any seconds whatsoever. Flood over towards the hill and again win the trade battle. Much better from the French squad.
Just a very back and forth game, which if you paid attention on Arsenal, it shouldn't come as too much of a surprise outside of the impossibility of predictions for these two teams. But now the largest lead I think they've had in either hardpoint so far. The question is, can they hold on? Risk doing a fairly nice job to play his life. Unfortunately for him, you've got players in front, you've got players spawning behind you, and your teammates, for the moment, nowhere to be found. But either way, first set of rotations in, and you got a 44-point lead for the French team.
Sizable. Is it going to be enough? That's the question. There's Brezzy now. Going to try and set up a play. That's immediately challenged by Blast. Denial do retake control of the hill, though. You need to win the fights when you're inside the hill, and that's going to be the problem because Risk is stuck in a Midnight sandwich, which he's not going to be able to survive. He falls. Midnight retake control of the hill. 115-76, the score. Still in favor of Denial, but 30 seconds left. And the glance at the minimap shows you the pressure still coming in here for Denial. They do not want to give anything up whatsoever. As it's Lacefield in the hill. The sub just trying to pre-fire as much as he can. The battle on rotation. Blast already and waiting to push out barrels, but he's trapped and he will fall. But at least Midnight are going to put it back down to about a 10-point game chance.
And now the issue for Midnight last time around is, well, they got the back spawns early, but they gave them up at about 40 seconds. And that's when they pushed up a little bit too far. So you fix that, you'll be great in the second hill. Honestly, you got a War Machine to watch the front. Everyone's coming through barrels. You got Llama God that was effectively trying to flank, but he should have the information. A couple players cut mid-map, but the War Machine's there, able to find one. And again, for Denial, I don't even know how you get in. Maybe through church, but you got players there calling out information. The graph saying might be the play, though. And you talk about players not spreading out. He's able to find 3, and just like that, Denial breakthrough.
Very, very well done. And that also puts him a little close towards some streak progression, too. 285 points, all that is going to be needed. Now look to try and pick up the final 25 seconds. Brezzy with one more. Second to the right. There's the lightning. One more for the Hellstorm. Well, there's 2 over towards barrels. EKA would have been enough. 60 points. What he needs, and honestly could just use the lightning here as well to aid the rotation.
course, this is just take your time. Get the nice setup, calling the Lightning. You know players are going to be in yellow. You know players are going to be in orange. And they got, what, 2 players, if not more, there, ready to trade these guys out in orange. Whalers gets the first. Staying still with the nade is going to slow them down quite a bit. The Lightning strike only able to pick up 1, but you make sure that you get the back spawns. The Lightning kills the correct guy. And, well, Midnight, again, just trying to keep those back spawns has been a bit of a struggle for him. But see Lacefield, he's thinking about the grassland. No players are in back, and well, he gets shut down this time.
The important sequence of events there really for Midnight was no Hellstorm given away. They were able to find the kill onto Brezzy relatively quickly after he made his way over towards the hill, but that's great and all. You still don't have control of the hill itself. Denial now with 30 seconds left. They earned himself a 30-point lead. Kills again in their favor. Things just not going well here for Midnight on this Fountain Hill as let's try and break on in. There's the first pick, but 14 seconds. Now you're fighting for scraps.
Of course, even if he gets it, the backup for Denial is here, so he's just going to fall. Not the best of lives, but Denial, last time they sent someone on the full flank. This time they're just trying to play for the aggression. A couple players inside the hill, and of course, Lacefield still sitting on the big boy grab slam if they stack up just a little bit, which honestly, the play might just be getting set up for him. One player is trying to flank from Denial, but they're not even trying to flood in the front for the moment. They're waiting for the setup to be here for the guy to flank in that shape. Well, he gets the kill, so they make their move. No grab slam invested. The timing was perfect. And Denial, well, they get the fairly quick break. 40 seconds left, though, and well, someone's calling a vision pulse to try to make the hold, and that's actually going to be from the side of Denial. They want all of this time.
Yep, and it's a good investment there. Pick up that final 30 seconds, you can almost secure this game. You can't end it, but putting a lot of pressure on Midnight slows them down. It's giving you essentially free time in the hill. Lacefield, though, with the grab slam, is this now the time he wants to go for it? Better late than never. He's had it for quite some time, not been able to implement good usage, and well, his teammates all dropped just like himself. 210, 137, 5 seconds of scrap. The rotation is already there. Attack 5 used by Denial. They are throwing everything but the kitchen sink at this game to close it out here on P1.
Well, you see Parasite actually uses the vision pulse as well, so they have all the information on where Denial is coming from, but the gunfight's, for the moment, a little bit back and forth. Lamagod's going to fall, and now it's a little bit chaotic. You know, all the players are coming in from one side, and well, you're still sitting on the gravity slam, but maybe you don't need it. Maybe you want to save it for a little later on because you can win the gunfights with the SOG. And this is a hill that Midnight's done well on so far, but Brezzy's picking up 2. It's getting very risky right now for Denial.
I mean, now you're at the point with the grab slam where you've got to use it correctly. You're not going to get a second one. You can't just burn it. As Denial back in the hill, 231. They can win it here. There is enough time for them to close it out. The Tempest is out for Natche as well. That's going to stop one side now. You're maybe even be forced to use the grab slam just to break into the hill. Are you even going to get to the hill in time, though? That's the question. You've got 5 seconds to touch it. The pressure going to come through mid. Brezzy just goes straight for a grab slam of his own. 3 players go down. Now it's down to Natche in the hill with the assistance of his teammate. Parasite gets 2. Llama gets 1. Midnight survived, but it's a foot race to the hill. Midnight hadn't rotated. Denial take it. And of course, we're going to game 5.
Couldn't have it any other way, Ben. Going to a game 5, undoubtedly. We're hoping for not a 6-0, maybe a little bit closer. We don't even need a round 11. Just give us round 10. That's all we want.
Competitive rounds, at least.
Yes, please.
That's all we need, especially if you're a neutral. You want a nice, good game, but it would be fitting that our final game of this cross-divisional play goes all the way to that game 5 search and destroy. Felt a little weird, only going to 4 games, but as it stands, a great game so far. Midnight, then now. We've had some very big blowouts and some close matches, but we'll be back after this for the final game 5 search. It's Midnight Denial going the distance to a Game 5 search and destroy. The first search of the series. Well, if you're a Midnight fan, it didn't go very well. If you're a Denial fan, it went about as perfectly as you could get. 6-0 was the scoreline. The French squad ran through the North Americans. Will we get the same in Game 5?
In either direction, honestly, who knows? Like, again, it's impossible to predict, but I did get a little bit of intel from Paradox.
All right, hit me.
For the map picks and bans, every team, obviously, you get to pick whatever. The control one team picks, the other team picks the side, yada, yada, yada. Each team has won their map picks. So obviously,
who picked Game 5?
Well, obviously, Denial picked the first search and destroy, so they picked that, which means Midnight picked the game number 5. So if you want to make predictions based on that, you lean the way of Midnight, but c'est la vie. You live and let live. I think that's what that means in French. I'm not entirely sure. So Denial, they don't want that to happen. They're happy to give away that game number 5 pick and ban, but of course they've already suffered a couple game 5 losses as well. So it's slightly problematic for them. So we'll see what Denial does to manage that.
Just closing out those series. That's where they've really struggled for me. And now you brought up the importance of this one for them. For Midnight, they've had a great week. For Denial, a win here would be massive. Just in confidence, if nothing else, is Rezi doing his best Pomage impression. Jumping up, trying to hit the shot, unsuccessfully, as we still wait for the first blood.
Just players jumping back and forth, looking for it. Parasite peeks, hits him with the bullet, and that shape finds the kill from inside. Advance Breji eventually going to be able to connect, finds the next kill, but Llama got making it.
Oh, don't. Okay.
Slightly more interesting.
Sheesh. Pomage, who? If he hits that shot?
7 rounds in a row, Ben.
Stop it. Not again. They're a great search and destroy team. They show character when they're struggling. They threw away a round 11 earlier.
Show character?
But, I mean, they were 5-1 down, and they came all the way back to round 11 against Optic. I mean, that shows good character.
Oh, you're talking about Denial?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's what I'm saying. They're 7-0. They're doing great right now. I was saying it's a problem for Midnight.
No,
Midnight's
yeah. Big issue for them. Big issue for them. But either way, if you're Denial, you still have to close it out, right? It's all good and well giving yourself that lead. You have to close it out. But a good start. Very, very good start. As they go on to the attack, what is going to be the game plan? Well, Brezzy in the snipes. He's gone over towards A. If you peek, you will die. There's 2 players there. Brezzy, no information on either of them. Meanwhile, Midnight have been forced to back away from B, conceding a little bit of control. There is a nade available for Saints to use, though, if the push goes through.
He's got FMJ on a pistol. I mean, like, why not? I suppose.
Maybe you have that extra spot. I mean,
also, why? I suppose. A lot of questions here, but like, you can imagine he just gets like 3 wall bang kills with a pistol this round.
This is actually a very interesting.
I've just never seen that before.
Plus, I mean, goes against Dead Silence to put long barrel and.
Yeah, like, what do you value more? Dead Silence, FMJ on a pistol. Like, it's a close call.
I mean, maybe he knows something we don't know. I've said it for a while. FMJ, less hit markers. I'm telling you. On a pistol, definitely going to help. And
yeah, see, you're talking and looking at me. Parasite's getting a triple kill.
Triple. Yeah, it's a pretty good nade.
That is a very good nade. So there's no way Denial should win this round. The FMJ not quite able to do that.
I was going to say, unless the magical FMJ pistol or Whalers was able to find 4. Not the case. And yeah, getting a triple kill with a nade, that does tend to help your search and destroy rounds.
Quite a little bit. You know, maybe switch out the FMJ for, well, he obviously wasn't the one that died to it, so you don't need flak there, but no trophy, no flak for Parasite, no problem.
Kobe. Oh,
a very nice nade as well. Best play getting it done.
That's a great nade. A great nade.
So easy, too. We see players stack up there all the time, and Parasite's like, oh, yeah, I'll kill them all. Granted, most teams have either a black or a trophy, but nonetheless, that is Midnight's first round win in this series for S&D.
That's true. 325. More points needed for Parasite to get towards some streaks. As Midnight go on to the attack. For them, pressure mid-map. Just force the situation. The bait from Saints to break glass. Maybe try and force a rotation over to B now. Does that maybe mean they're thinking about hitting A? Well, time's ticking. Have to make that decision relatively soon as Risk has the entire lobby covered. He spotted Llama now. Puts down some shots unsuccessfully. And it looks as if Midnight, they've decided B is the bomb site they want to go to.
Of course, Brezzy is sitting here waiting. Blast not quite able to finish the kill, and
oh my lord!
Shot at it. Yeah, so, by the way, Brezzy, really good with the sniper, in case you forgot. Really good.
I mean, he's that good. He's forced Midnight to just say, nope.
He's like playing on 8-8 with like a 1.5 ADS sensitivity. Honestly, I'd be curious as to how many players switch it around when you snipe that have the higher ADS sensitivity, because obviously normally players tone it down for the actual guns. By the way, 4 players right now surging towards A, make it 3, make it a stun. You should have a couple more kills. Lacefield's going to help you out.
You're right. Risk just ran straight by him. Well, he should have got his eyes checked before the game, but it doesn't matter. They all die anyway.
Yeah, no, so it's a new thing in Black Ops 4. I'm assuming most people know, but a lot of people, instead of playing on like 5.5s or whatever, you bump it up to 8.8. I think even Tommy bumped it up to like 10s, but he puts it on a 0.5 ADS sensitivity. But I think a very common thing is something around 6.6, 0.75. But I think when you have a sniper, you crank it up to the max so you can do stuff like Brezzy just did. And unfortunately, I can't ask him. I don't know if Google Translate has ADS sensitivity, and it's replicated.
Might try it.
I'd give it a shot.
To see the strange look as there's a replay of that shot. It was,
It's very quick.
oh, that's disgusting. That is a hell of a shot to hit. And Blast is now going to do his best to try and counter snipe. Good luck, have fun. Luckily for him, Brezzy is over at the other side.
Good news as well. Trying to dodge some nades for the moment. No trophy down, but obviously they're not stacked up in the same spot this time. They're a little bit more fearful. Parasite has put the fear of God into them, and still with the same strategy, looking for a pick, and Blastful actually might just get baited out. Llama's gonna fall. Saints, well, he was there for the trade, but so was Risk. And Blast is like, oh, yeah, okay, they are going to the B site. Let me come on back, but might have a sniper on sniper shot. He hesitates for the moment, gets a hit marker, finishes the kill. And that bomb carrier saying, no, thank you. I will leave. I will try to go back with you guys mid-map. But Lacefield here might get the best timing in the world. Actually, he's going to get caught out. Has a player right in front of him, but Zeke, with the help of his teammate, gets the kill. But 3v2 in 25 seconds.
Looks like both players sniping for their teams are just trying to make the flashy highlight reel. Well, Blast has put the sniper down to pull out the ICR. It's a 1v3. It's all down to Parasite. I mean, he has a nade. He's already got 1 triple kill. Can he do it again here? Oh, he's not going to get it with the nade. He may use it if he's able to find 2 kills quickly. Until then, more than likely want to save that for the next round. And talk about quickly, this is not the pace that you're going to need to go at to clutch a 1v3.
Well, maybe he's playing for streaks, only 850 away. But for the moment, Natshe, Zeke, and Whalers
He's not going to get him.
Slowly creeping up on their specialists. So they get an extra half a tick. So maybe it doesn't make a huge difference, but Whalers does get the kill in the end. And it's a fairly solid round. It's an adjustment made from Denial to not get triple killed with a nade.
Much better.
Tough adjustments to make. You know, you talk over mistakes. Sometimes they're hard to identify, but Denial, they did it fairly quickly on that one.
I mean, it's worth mentioning that's the only round of Search and Destroy they've lost. This series.
In this series, yeah.
In the series. It was a triple kill nade. Everything else has been flawless execution. Again, Blast with the sniper rifle. He's going to head over towards A. Is he going to be able to finally counter-snipe Brezzy? Brezzy 5 and 2, by the way. Blast 1 and 3. He's not had much success. Lacefield's run straight past someone. Natshe will find the first blood, instantly traded out. Whalers forced to back away. Finally, some life from Midnight in the rounds. And, well, then that happens. Every time Paradox switches over to Brezzy, he's just hitting a shot.
Just in the process of killing people. And that's kind of rough, too, because Midnight did a phenomenal job on the trades. And then you can't trade that. It's just too fast. But bomb should be going down shortly over towards A. Brezzy and Zeke thinking about how they want to retake it. I'm assuming both are just going to go from the same side. And kind of bad news is you're getting pressured out. You're able to find 1 kill. Just give them the second.
Oh.
It would have been a bad spot if you traded him out. But Zeke, well, he's not happy to be traded at all. He's getting closer to the vision pulse. He's getting close to streaks, and he's getting even closer to demoralizing Midnight, who are now, what, 10-1 down in round count in the series.
There had to be some team shots there. Because he just evaporated them both.
It's quick.
That was phenomenal from Z. I mean, you're surely going to see that again. If that isn't the best play, then something's seriously broken.
I bet it was a partial hesitation as well. I bet Lamagod had to stop shooting because he knew his teammate was about to cross in front of him or something to that effect. But either way.
The snapper onto the second.
Either way, that's some nice gun skill. Maybe all the French team play with like a 1.5 ADS. They all just they go backwards. We're gonna snap on everybody.
Yep. 2-2, 1.5. That's a strange way of doing it, but okay. Either way, first blood this round over to Midnight. Again, another first blood. Bear in mind, Attack 5 was used here for denial. So the extra health coming through. Resi, of course, is down. So if you're Midnight, you can feel a little bit safer this round.
I mean, technically, Denial might have the information that those players crossed over towards B because they did get the hit marker through the wall, but they're essentially just waiting for Midnight to make a mistake because of the disadvantage. And, well, if they get one kill, a lot of opportunities to make the big play, but you got 3 players flanking, and, well, if anyone's going to kill them all, it might be Zeke. Sees one cross, has another right in front of him. Again, has his information, but does he check his right? He doesn't matter.
What?
The gunfight. Risk finds his kill. You get the streaks if you want them, but do you need them? I don't even think so. Zeke is, he's quick.
I am mind blown. But watch out, it's the nade. Causing problems in round 1. Hit marker this time. Whalers has to watch over his teammate does so. From a great position to a 1v3. Llama's going to be wondering what about how he got to this exact position. Makes it the 1v2. Credit to him.
I'd honestly just call him the Hellstorm. Being up 5-1, I don't care if you got a 2-1 wasted streaks. Like, you can do whatever you want. It's a very difficult spot, but that's fine. They go up 5-1, 11-1 in round count. Zeke, by the way, is French for I kill really fast.
Really, really, really fast. That was incredible. Watch this. There's the first. He's obviously spotted someone deep back, and you're thinking, oh, well, he's surely dead here. 1, 2, 3, 4 bullets. 5 health.
He got shot like 4 or 5 times before he started shooting and then got the kill.
I want my Maddox to do that.
Slide more?
I guess you're right. 5-1 denial. Only 1 round won this entire series from Midnight and Search and Destroy. I can't wait to hear what the analyst desk say about this if it is going to be closed out here. Always potential for more. Oh, Brezzy. Controlled. Not going to let this situation get the better of him. Why? Because his teammate has a streak. Calls out the info. Streak comes in. Now you just have to look at window. There's a nade already there. There's 2 more players in the close corner, which unfortunately for Risk, he's not going to know, but he knows it now. Player left there. 3v2, and all of a sudden, Denial sniff the taste of sweet victory. When Brezzy is not missing, it is almost impossible to lose. The grab slam gets shot punched out.
There's a Hellstorm.
But there's a missile from the sky, and Denial close out their cross-divisional games with a Game 5 win, and just Search and Destroy in general. Flawless.
In a brutal, dominating fashion. Again, saying that Denial needed to
no
get
fist bump. No, not Haggie's teammates. Not fist bumping him. That's interesting.
Oh, that's well, politics, man, politics.
Wow, a absolute whitewash there from Denial Chance. Whitewash.
And again, must win, I would say, for the hands of Denial, because I think they bump up to 3-8. Actually, I think we have a 3-way tie at the bottom of the division. Something like that. It comes down to map count. Who knows? But either way, Denial needed to win the series. They get the win, and maybe a little bit of confidence before they start pouring into the pre-land that they're going to. That is insane. Zeke just like started out 1-2 and then just starts shredding kids left and right. And honestly, Blast kept finding the rough end of the stick on that one.
Scuff Gaming played a game right there. Zeke the double, miraculous double, and the best part is his teammates just like,
nice job, dude.
Good job. It's almost expected from him, but that was a fantastic round, just a fantastic game from Denial. Yeah, we questioned their ability to close out, their ability to clutch. I mean, you look at the entire series, Midnight only able to win 1 round of Surge, which Parasite basically won by himself with a triple kill nade. Besides that, they look completely clueless, but it's pretty hard to have an idea of what's going on when Brezzy is sniping like that. That concludes the first game, or second game of the day. We'll be back with post-game analysis after this.
Denial end their cross-division week with a win, taking down Midnight 3-2. Now, Study, how were they able to get that win?
100% it was their SDs. They went 12-1 in all the round counts. Midnight just obviously didn't show any teamwork whatsoever when it came to those S&Ds. And for some reason, Denial keeps getting payload. We watched them beat Reciprocity 6-2 yesterday. We watched them play Spice on at Fort Worth. I mean, they beat them as well. Just overall, this is their best S&D map. It's just looking like no one is doing homework on them.
What do you think they need to do? Great that they got this win. What do they need to do going forward preparing for London?
Oh, they definitely, we heard Wireless talk about it, doing the pre-land once again before London. But one thing they mainly need to focus on is their respawns in general. Like we were watching the first game, it was a really close game, but in the side of Denial, it was just their setups for me. It was just lackluster performances out of a couple players and just inconsistent setups out of teammates. Like someone's not there to help you on a trade and just little things like that. Those are such things that you could just fix so easy. Hopefully they're able to fix it going into London.
I think they need to work on their confidence in their playmaking in Hardpoint. Like they're so slow to make certain decisions, and it costs them in those hard points. Once they pick it up and pick up their pace and have confidence within their team, they'll be a lot better at respawns. And hopefully they get to that point before London.
I 100% agree with what you just said. Even from yesterday, I was just having like flashbacks in this match in the Hardpoint. At least even on like they won game number 4, but it was still they're slow on these rotations when they're trying to get that initial control of the hill. It's like that small hesitation can cost you like a situation. And you know, it's something that they really need to fix. But you know, in Search and Destroy, it seems like their teamwork is on point. Game number 2 on Payload, they played amazing, and like Jay said, people keep playing them on the map and they keep taking it to them. And then going into this one, it was pretty much Brezzy's sniper for me. Like he was picking up kill after kill after kill. Like this was like Dashy yesterday. Dashy was getting some crazy snipes, and today Brezzy was doing the same thing. Just these tough snipes, people giving you only a small piece of wiggle room, and you're taking their head off. And then the only round Midnight won was a 3-piece nade. So the thing
is, for me, Midnight was in position.
They're not even doing it.
Midnight was in position to win a bunch of rounds. I feel like they're extremely sloppy today in S&D. Like I know Denial's good at it.
On the tree, and the stun comes in. It's like, what's going on? There's a team kill that happens.
That was just a crazy round. First of all, they got information on Natshay behind the tree. They knew he was there, and no one on the team decided to push him. And then he ended up getting 2 kills for free when you knew he was there, up close with an ICR, right here. Is this the play?
Yeah,
I think it's around. Yeah, they all get to this tree, and then like a stun comes in from somebody, and you know, I think maybe
at this point, look at the mini map. At this point, Natshay is alone. Risk is coming up to hold his left, to try to hold his left, but no one makes a play. There's 14 seconds left. Make a play.
I just don't understand what the guy on the statue is doing this entire time.
He's holding the lobby door. He's trying to hold the lobby door,
but like. That guy just shouldn't be able to turn that corner.
Someone has to take a risk on the map and get rid of the first guy. If you don't kill that guy, you're not going to be able to do anything in the round.
Yeah, that's just literally like pandemonium. Like they just have a plan there. Like, all right, let's wrap to A Street and try to get this bomb down, and then they just all kind of just huddle up there and get destroyed. It's like kind of similar to this round. Like they all get there, and it's just no coordination, no organization at all.
They should win this round. They have a 3v2.
They fly out.
They have
I just don't understand.
With full site control, there's no reason to challenge anything. Get the bomb down, work together. They don't do that. They plant for Denial's side and then try to push it out, and they don't even look for information, throw any shoulders. We always talk about that. Throw a shoulder. No, instead they both run out through the door and get 2-piece.
So it's like in a clutch, like there's obviously going to be like some risk involved. Like you just play back to back and play your life, but you don't, when you get the bomb down, you force it for them to have to make a play. You don't rush out their spawn like that. Like you don't know where the players are. So it just seems like there's a lot of chaos inside of Midnight right now, and they're Search and Destroy. They lost confidence from that game number 2, and then on game number 5 when they lost a few early rounds, it's the same thing, same story. It started to repeat itself.
I mean, that's got to be tough too. So far they looked pretty decent this week, but now they're ending it 2-2, which isn't of course, you know, the worst outcome, but not how they looked playing against 100T at all.
Yeah, I mean, they played pretty well this week, right? Like, they can go back, practice, and get better for London. Like, they improved a lot over a very, like, short time from Fort Worth. And, you know, 2-2 is something you can be okay with. They're going to have a good seed as well. I think that puts them at, 8-4 now. So they should have a pretty good seed going into it. And now it's just time to practice for them.
All right, let's pull up our schedule because coming up